if anybody's on the Chargers, all the statisticians and everything that they have that are smarter than us, right? Right? Yep. They're supposed to be smarter than us. They would have that and try to plan around, if we're going to make a change, we got to do it right now.
But based on the performance this season, it seems like everyone needs to be on the same page for them to have success.
Are the Chargers really that bad? Right? On the surface, it seems like they are. Came out the gate hot, and everybody's like, man, this is a Super Bowl caliber team.
Right.
But in my humble opinion, the injuries have changed they just changed the identity of this team completely, right? And then they go on the transfer portal. My goodness. They make a trade for 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝗀, who, to me, is one of the best edge rushers in the league that nobody talks about. And automatically he comes in and fills in for Khalil Mack. Who knows if Khalil Mack's going to come back this year? I don't think so. That arm was completely jacked up. But they might put some type of robot mechanism on his elbow to make him better than, he comes back a little bit early and plays for the team. But I think right now, more than anything, with the two injuries to, obviously we know who, with Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton. I mean, I guess we could just get into it. Let's look at the 2025 so far. They're 3-2. They lost their past two games, so they're on a 2-game skid. They're 3-0 in their division because they played their divisional games back to back to back in the first half. But they have 11 players that are on injured reserve right now. Their biggest injuries, of course, Joe Alt,
right,
Omarion Hampton, Mekhi Becton, Najee Harris, Will Dissly, Khalil Mack. Perryman is out. And then also Rashawn Slater at the beginning of the season tearing his knee up.
Yep.
So this is just an injury-riddled team. Almost the parallels with the Ravens are almost identical. They're not this injured, but I mean, how can we say a team sucks when they have pretty much all their star players completely out of this? And Omarion Hampton was just starting to, that engine was starting to speed up really, really quickly and to prove that he was the number one pick. But I mean, how do you feel about the Chargers, man? To me, are they bad? They're bad because their players are out. But I still think that they're going to be able to compete with teams really, really hard because they have really good pieces around them. But what's your outlook on the Chargers? Are you believing this?
Well, like you said, they're 3-2. They had their 5 games, but the telltale point, as far as I'm concerned, this isn't always hold true, but I like to look at it. They are averaging 19.6 points scored per game. But the defense is allowing 19.6, exactly the same number against them.
Wow.
So that tells me you're going to have close to a 500 record, just 500, just barely above, barely below. If you're not scoring more points than you're allowing, that's where it's going to throw you. Now, this week, they visit a Miami team who is 9-1 straight up in their last 10 games playing at home against the Chargers. So history's not on the side of the visiting Chargers here. Not to say that'll happen this time, but yeah, it doesn't look good. And like you mentioned with the injury bug, losing all those players, that can really hurt a team bad. Yes, you're supposed to have depth. You're supposed to have young players, but you got to get to the point where every team's expected to have injuries no matter what. It happens.
It's very true.
So you got to get that mentality of next man up, move forward, do the best you can. Are they doing the best they can? Do they have the right backups? Do they have the right depth? The 3 wins earlier in the season, like you mentioned, were all in the division: Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, and then they go 0-2 playing NFC teams. Not threatening NFC teams. We're talking the Giants and the Commanders, but they lost to the NFC. Now, this team, healthy, has talent across the board. But based on the performance this season, it seems like everyone needs to be on the same page for them to have success. They all have to be healthy. They all have to be playing right. They all have it's not a team that can succeed if not everything's going the right way. If not everything's clicking the right way, they're just a middle of the road team, like I mentioned, with their points scored or get points against. If you're one of the people that considered them among the elite early in the season with that start, sorry, they're not elite.
Yeah.
They may be a good team, but they are not an elite team if they can't do anything when they have the injuries, when they have the people out. Elite teams still manage to perform. So yeah. I would say yes, they're a fluke at this point.
Yeah, and it's hard to say that they're not. And I'll go back to my original point. This is the time where Justin Herbert can silence all the critics. Us up here don't think that he's an overrated quarterback. A lot of people out there do, and the stats are on his side with the, when a lot of people say he throws a lot of interceptions or he turns the ball over a lot, but then he has one of the lowest, turnover worthy play percentage out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's broken all kinds of records. And so how can we constantly keep saying that this guy is overrated when this is the type of stuff that happens all the time with the Chargers? It seems like year after year. Now, the thing is, Keenan Allen is having an incredible season. Keandre Lambert-Smith has to be more consistent than he's been. Quentin Johnston has been a sight for sore eyes this season, And then you have Ladd McConkey, who they have to establish him as the number one weapon moving forward. I think right now the passing game just has an identity problem because you have so many weapons, but everybody thinks that they're number one. And as a coach, you have to start considering who your role players are in this offense, and not you can have the mentality that you're the number one receiver, but you have to establish that you're the X, you're the Z, you're the Y. This is how we spread out. It just seems like it's an identity problem. Also, on the other side of that, Jim Harbaugh has to get these guys together and prove that he is a coach that we always thought that he was, regardless of where he went. With all the adversity, it's up to him to be able not only to make the right moves, which they went out and got a Oweh. Yes, they had to give up a great safety, but they got some draft capital back. The Ravens got, a 5th round pick out of it. So that was one of the most I get that trade. It's time for somebody else to kind of step up in place, and the Ravens kind of have the depth there. So why not move a guy that can help another team out, but then also they get what they need in return too. So I actually thought it was a very good trade. I did not bad. If you would see that in fantasy, if you had draft picks associated with it, you'd be like, okay, I get it, But this is the time where Jim Harbaugh can really get out there and prove that he is a top coach by dealing with this adversity. It's a lot. 11 players on IR and a ton of your star players are out. You're asking a lot of this offensive line to be great the rest of the year, but we'll see what happens. They should be getting Joe Alt back here soon, and we know that Rashawn Slater is out of here. And I believe, didn't they just move on from their center today? Wasn't that news that what's his name? Let me make sure that my information is right. Yeah, they're benching Bradley Bozeman to put in former Raider Andre James in his place. So it seems like a crazy move, but maybe this is what we're talking about. Maybe Jim is making moves that might shock everybody, but maybe the right things for this team to continue to move forward to be successful. Players do turn around and players do play better than on other teams. And Mekhi Becton for the Eagles last year. I mean, I know he's on the Chargers now, but Mekhi Becton was a guy that has failed for most of his career, got to the Eagles and helped get them a championship, right?
Yep.
This team is pretty messy, but here's what I'll say to kind of end this out, and if you have any other points as well. The being 3-0 in their division gives them the best advantage out of any team in the NFL to just continue to adjust until they start playing their divisional games again. Because what is the one thing that gets you into the playoffs? Winning your division, right? Yep. So really and truly, the 6 games on your schedule that are the most important, you win a couple games and win those 6 games in your division, and automatically propels you forward.
Right.
It gives them the best cushion that any team has in the NFL right now. So, and I'm sure if anybody's on the Chargers, all the statisticians and everything that they have that are smarter than us, right? Yep. They're supposed to be smarter than us. They would have that and try to plan around, if we're going to make a change, we got to do it right now.
Right.
If we're going to bench a Bradley Bozeman, we got to put Andre James in right now. If we got to go get, worry about our running back core, Kamada Vidal is going to come in and be the guy, we got to start him right now and start giving him first team reps. We can't.
Yep.
And we have to establish who the number one wideout's going to be. So anything else to close this out, man? I mean, are they a fluke? I'm kind of on the fence of saying no because of all the adjustments that can be made. But as of right now, how can you say that they're not when they come out 3-0 and then now on a 2-game skid and they look like a shell of themselves?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the right coaching moves here could really turn this team around. Even though they're on this injury bug, if they make the right moves going forward, yeah, it'll help a lot. It'll propel them in a good way.
Yeah. I don't know if this team is cursed, man, but losing, it's almost like you just lost your this is the craziest thing. Rashawn Slater was their starting left tackle. Joe Alt got drafted, was a left tackle at Notre Dame, moved to right tackle, had a great year last year, moved back to left tackle, so you replaced that naturally, and now he's out.
Yeah.
Man, for a right-handed quarterback, it's
bad.
It's bad at that position right now. So we'll see, man. We'll see. It's just unfortunate.